Hi everybody, it's Colin here from Colin's Engage. Happy New Year everybody. I've succeeded in what I was trying to do with my signalling. Very pleased, in fact extremely happy. It took some doing. I'll explain in this video. And apologies for sounding like I have cold. I do have cold, you're not going to catch out over a video. But I wanted to put it up, so I apologise for the voice and any snivelling I do. So we'll get on with the video. Well, as you can see, as I said, I have worked out how to get my signals to work using the Megapoint system. Now, there is a bit of a mess up here behind the control board. I will tidy it up and cramp the wires together, with cable ties, but at the moment it's a bit messy, but it'll all come out and be sorted. These two expansion boards, the switches and the LEDs, that panels will be behind here, but the relay boards and the relay board itself, they go underneath the layout. Now, I've had a bit of a problem with this, sorting it out, because I was under the understanding that you put on these relays, there's 3 screws to each relay, and I was under the understanding you put the negative, the ground, to the middle, and the other wires, which is green for the green light, red for the red light, red wire for the red light, you put to the other side. Well, yeah, you sort of do, but you don't. And what I mean is you don't put the negative connection to it. That runs separate. Now what I will do is run a negative bus wire underneath the layout, and using the same connections what I use for the droppers, I'll connect it to the negative bus route. At the moment it's just wired, if I can get it to focus, that with the resistor it's just basically wound together, but it's only temporary, to see if I can get it to work. I could have rung Dave from Megapoints. I got this at Wally, all this lot, and I know he was going away Christmas. I didn't want to ring him. I wanted to work it out myself if I could. At some points I was pulling my hair out. I didn't spend a lot of time in December because of being busy, but I have sussed it, and just to show you it working, I'm going to use yellow buttons for changing the light, and when I press it, changes to red, and those 2 lights flashing, they're going to be the indicators on the control panel next to the switch. So when it's red, I know the signal will be red. So when I look at my control panel and my block detectors, if it's red, can I change it to green? Is there any blue lights? If there's blue lights, that means there's a train on the track. So that's how I'm going to do it. The complication. Now, when you get this, these relays are for the frogs of your points. Now, in the instructions, move my glasses. The instructions you can print off from Dave's Megapoint controller site are very clear. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Now, as you can see, the green, which is the frog wire, goes to the middle of the block of 3, and the red and blue in this case are the rail powers, your plus and negative, your positive and negative connection. So working on that theory, that's how I did the lights, and it didn't work, and I tried everything. I was doing all sorts of different things, but eventually I twigged. And when you click your button to change a point, basically it changes one of the relays, whichever one your point's connected to, and the indicator light down there, which you won't see, changes either on or off. Now what I've done is the middle is a positive supply. It goes from it's very temporary at the moment. This is one of the distribution boards what Dave makes now, and I've connected, as you can see, the green wire into the plus, the positive, and the black wire will be the bus route for the negative connection. So on there, your power goes into the middle. I'm using yellow and purple, whatever colour you want to call that, lavendery colour, lilac, to my signal. And because it's only a 2 aspect, they've put on green wire for green and red wire for the red light, and green wire for the green light. But I haven't got them. I have a green wire, but I use that for my frogs and stuff. And when I got these colours, that's all the shop had about 5 years ago, and I'm going to use it. I know which colour goes to what, so that's all that matters. And basically you put one wire on one side, one on the other, and whichever way your switch is, it either feeds from the middle to the right or from the middle to the left, and that makes the light on there change to red or green. And I'm going to have indicators on the control panel, so when I press it, it changes, they flash, and it stops on green, so I know I can go. So that's it. Right, just a bit of information on connecting these to your multi-panel processor, and those basically they connect to that, and this connects to the processor. You can connect 3 of those to each board through those 6-pin connections, and each one of those relay boards with the relays on control 4 frogs, or in my case lights. Right, now when you use your first one, this is my first one, if I was using it in the same thing as the points on this multi-panel processor, it would do the first 12 frogs. Now it doesn't have to be in order, they are numbered, as you can see. These are the switches, the 2 pins on this side of the switches, the other side of the indicator light sockets. So if I wanted to, I could put number 1, where are you? Number 1, which is over there, point to number 1 on there. But the next one doesn't have to be number 2. It's just whatever you want to put it on in as. You don't have to do it in order, but that does the first 12 you have connected to the multi-panel processor, whichever the numbers you use. The processor board does 24 before you need to expand it. Now, what I could have done was put my switches onto this multi-panel as well, but I wanted to keep them separate. So that's why I've got expansion boards. So if which I will have, but I'm not using the relays to change my frogs, I'm using auto frogs, because until I mechanise them, when I change them manually, the frog gets changed to negative or positive when I use it manual. Now, if I was to use the frogs in the same time as changing the point motors, behind here there'll be just one set of wires coming in from 2 of them. You daisy chain them together through the network, and you'd have 12 of them to make 24, and 2 of them to make 24 connections. So the first 12, when your first board has to flash on that red light when you turn it on twice. That green one just pulses to tell you it's working. The next board, to do the other 12 on the multi-panel, would have to flash 3 times. Now, because I'm doing a separate expansion board for my switches and indicators for my lights, that flashes 4 times for the first 12 switches. And again, it doesn't have to be the first 12 on here. It can be the first 12 I use on here. Any of them switches I could use. And then when I've used them up, I will put another board on to use the next 12 switches on there. And that would have to indicate 5 flashes. And so on. Now, that can be whichever one I want it to be. It could be number 12. But what you can't do is make that flash 12 times and plug them in to the first expansion, because the processor recognises the first expansion as the first one. It doesn't put a gap in. So you have to make that the first and second expansion. Well, first and then another one, the second, to use all of them. So just remember that. But once you get it, it's easy. I'm not worried about wires. I love wires behind my telly. I know some people don't. Ladies hate it. But I will tidy it up and clip them all together so it looks tidy. I just haven't done it yet. I've got more important things to do, like run trains and enjoy myself. When this closes, you can't see it anyway. The other thing I'm going to put behind here is that power supply. So at the moment, my power comes through there from underneath the layout. Well, it's going to be plugged up here. So this has its own supply behind the board. These 2 boards are power fed from the processor here. Now that's fine, they'll always be like that, but it'll be just independent, that's all. So if I put in anything else up, I can just get power from it. So there is another thing to remember. Right, there's something I've missed out. I keep talking about how many times you make that red light flash, and you use these buttons here, up and down, and they're called the address buttons. And naturally, if it's on 2 and you want it to go to 3 flashes, you press it up once. And if it's on 4 and you need it to go down 1, you press it once down and it will flash 3 times. So that's how you change the address on each one of these boards. The other thing I've got for the new year is my first pannier tank engine, steam engine. And this is another reason for putting Electrofrog points in to help these little things work okay. And it does run quite slow. So I'm pleased with that. That is slow enough for me, is that. And the overall length of it is only about 2.5 inches from coupling to coupling. Less for the actual engine. It's very small, but it will be because it's engaged. So I'll show you something else, another little thought I've had. The other thing I got was this floodlight. Well, I got 4 of them, and I need more, but I just wanted to try them first. And I got them from these people. Now, they're very good. I booked that on New Year's evening, New Year's Day evening, and it came on Saturday, which is very good postage and very good of them to turn it around. Now, there's 4 red and 4 blue. Red are negative, and the blue are the red are positive, sorry, and the blue are the negative. You wire them all together and you plug it into a 3 volt and they'll work. If you want to use 12 volt, you put on the resistor what they supply, very long resistor, and that you can cut them down. But what I'm going to do, excuse the hand, I'm going to put them facing inwards all the way down there, all the way down on both sides. And then I'm going to put some lights on the gantry, so when it moves there's also lights stay with it. I'm going to put possibly 1, 2, 5 down each side and connect them all together, and they'll work. And it should look quite good being lights going inwards instead of all over. It would just light the gantry up as it goes past, and the lights on the gantry will light the containers up so the man can see what he's doing. So I'm going to give that a go. One other thing, for my lights I use these because they're adjustable what power voltage you have going through. And this is one out of the box. At the moment that's set at 12, but you can go down to 3. So I plug my lights into them at 3, and then I don't have to bother with resistors. And if you have a lot of lights plugged in and it goes a bit dimmer, you can just turn it up a little bit. Not too much, you can control it. So it's all quite simple really. So I'm hoping these are going to work better than those other lights I got a couple of months ago now, but I'll be able to use them elsewhere. I still like them. I just wanted to. When I saw them at Whalley, I thought they would work. They are actually 00 size, but it'll work in this area because you have big, floodlights. So that's good for me. Okay, so that's the update for now. A lot of tidying up to do. It's like a bomb site in here yet again, but that's how it goes. I'll do a bit of running next just to make me smile because it always does. So as I said earlier, Happy New Year to you all, and hope you get a good 2020. Hope everything goes well for all of you. So, anybody new, please subscribe, give us a tick, a like, and hit the bell, and then you'll see my next video when I put one up. And thank you very much indeed. Bye for now.